Okay, so in the last lecture, we saw that switches are layer 2 devices, which means they segment the network within the MAC addresses. Now, if you see the term layer 3 switch, that means you are referring about a router and not a layer 2 switch, okay? Sometimes routers are also called as layer 3 switches, so don't get confused between them. The term router and the layer 3 switch are interchangeable. Now, what is a router? A router is a network device used to connect many, sometimes disparate network segments together, combining them into what we call the internetwork. That is the internet that you are using today. A well configured router can make intelligent decisions about the best way to get network data to its destination. So it gathers the information it needs to make these decisions based on the network's particular performance data. Another important thing is routers use IP addresses to make the forwarding decisions. They are considered as layer 3 devices because IP addresses are used at layer 3 and MAC addresses are used at layer 2. Now on the screen you can see a Cisco router, which is a typical device which is used to connect to the internet. Now routers can be multi-facet devices that behave like computers unto themselves with their own complex operating systems. For example, Cisco routers have their own operating system. You can even think of them as CPUs are totally dedicated to the process of routing packets. And due to their complexity and flexibility, you can configure them to actually perform the functions of other types of network devices. Now, routers can have many different names. In the beginning of this lecture, I have told you that router is also known as a layer 3 switch, or it is also known as a multi-layer switch. Remember, if you hear the word switch, it means layer 2 device, okay? If you just hear the word switch, it means layer 2 device. Routers, layer 3 switches, and multi-layer switches mean the same. Now, as you can see on the screen, there is a router which is held to connect two different network segments. I'll make use of the laser pointer here. Yeah, so this is a router which is used to connect this network and this network. So if PC5, if this PC, okay, now if this PC wants to transfer the data to, let's say, PC3, so how will it go? It will transfer the data to this packet. Now since this is a hub and we have seen that hub transfers data to all other PCs, this data will be forwarded to this all other PCs, and then it will also forward to this PC as well. And after this, the hub sends the data to router. Now router checks if this data is present for which internetwork. So as the intended data is for route PC3 of the other segment, the router properly routes data to the switch. Now on the switch there is a packet, and in that packet it is destined that it is for PC5. Okay, it is for PC5. So now this switch, now we all know that switch does not broadcast the packet to all other hosts. It simply transfers this packet to PC5. So in this way, the networking device PC5 of segment 1, this is the first segment and this is the second segment. So PC1, PC5 of first segment successfully transferred data to PC3. Now in this diagram while explaining, we understood the concepts of hub and switch. So I hope you are now comfortable with all the three devices: hub, router and switch, right? I hope you understand these devices correctly, because these are the most important devices in any networking, and you must understand the basic difference between all these devices. Now before moving ahead, you can see that I have taken enormous efforts to explain you all the concepts in very basic form. So I request you to please leave a rating for our course, because leaving a rating will also help other students to know about this course. Now we are not doing this for the money purposes, we are just doing so that you can understand, and if you find out that ours is the only course on computer networking, which will explain you in every detail. So if you're enjoying this course, please write us a review. And if you have any grievances, let us know through the question and answer section. We will try to address them as fast as possible. In the next lecture, we will talk about firewalls. Then we'll get to know introduction about IDS and IPS and other devices.